Hello, welcome back to Rolling Solo. My name is Adam Smith. We are playing Mansions of Madness, the second edition. In the last video, we were able to actually clear the majority of the mansion out. So Father Mateo over here only has one deep one left on him, who's trying to attack him, and actually William over here is completely in the clear and has an interactability with this token if he chooses to move into it and interact with that on his turn. We are in the Investigator phase, and in the prior rounds or videos, William and Father Mateo have both been taking some damage and also some sanity hits. So just for reference, wounded is the condition that currently sits on Father Mateo. He's also going to be dazed for this upcoming Investigator phase we're going to run through right now. One thing to keep note of is that we have 2 face down damage cards, 1 face up, total of 3, and he can only handle 6. So when we get 3 more, we get another wounded card, and Father Mateo is out of the game and eliminated. So we need to stop that from happening. The downside being Father Mateo has a deep one on him currently, and that could inflict some damage. So we need to get rid of him as fast as possible. On the sanity front, he's a little bit being a priest, more able to handle the sanity damage. He has an 8 total, but has 2 face up, 4 face down, so it's 6. He's not as close to flipping that one over, whereas over here with William has actually gone insane. He is an equal in terms of sanity and health that he can handle, but he has gone insane, and as you can see, 1, 2 face up and 4 face down. He's 1 away from triggering his insanity again, and once that happens, William's eliminated from the game. So we'll get into the elimination steps once we run into them, if we run into them. My hope is we're not going to have to run into them because we're going to survive this somehow. Now, this is kind of crazy. So we're in the Investigator phase right now. So the ball's in our court to do what we want. One thing we have to recognize for Father Mateo is he is dazed, so you can't spend clues to convert dice or perform puzzle steps, but we likely won't be doing that anyway. So we'll discard that at the end of his turn. So we'll keep it there for now, just for reference. He's currently next to the deep one, and if we take a quick look actually at the monster tray for this particular one, we can maybe see how much damage is on him, and you can see there's 0. So we're going to have to focus on making attacks against this guy so he doesn't hit us back. We need to kill him. So the only thing I have here in terms of options would be either using the Wither or using the Brass Knuckles. Now, I'm debating on both sides because the Wither, I don't know what'll happen when I flip the card. It could actually put some damage on him per se, or something may happen that way, right? And I don't really want that to happen. So I think the first attack I'm going to do is going to be with the Brass Knuckles, and then worst case, if that doesn't go well, I'll try the Wither second, all right? So we're going to go ahead and do that. So we're going to do the Brass Knuckles first, which is a unarmed attack. We get to roll 2 additional die when we do that attack. So we'll come over here, we'll hit the attack button, and we're going to say we're going to do the attack unarmed. You lunge at your foe's legs in an attempt to tackle it. Use your strength 2. Now, his strength is not very good, but the great thing is we roll 2 additional dice while attacking unarmed using Brass Knuckles. So we really go up to 5 dice, and we only need to get 2 successes. So here we go. Let's see what we get. Come on. There we go. 3 successes. Way more than enough. If you pass, you catch your enemy off balance and the weight of your body carries it to the ground hard. The monster suffers damage equal to your test result plus 1. Awesome. So we got 1, 2, 3 Elder Signs. We can tick this one all the way up. That deep one has been killed off the map. That's awesome news. So we have no enemies left on the board now, which is amazing. Finally. It's been a while since we got a clean mansion. Okay. So now we can focus on maybe doing something else with Father Mateo. Does he have an ability to do any actions that could potentially help him? I'm not within range, so I can't use Father Mateo's kind of inherent ability. But I don't have any other cards that allow me to do anything else action-wise. I could do something like step into the next room and potentially maybe, I think if I remember correctly, there was an urn here that you could break, if I remember from past videos. I don't know if that's exactly what I'd want to do, but I wouldn't have enough actions to get there and do that anyway. Let's see. Oh no, it's you can search a desk essentially. So I don't know what's in there. The urn must have been in one of these other rooms or something like that. But essentially, I only have 1 more action with him. So I think it makes sense. Now, the other thing we have to keep ourselves aware of is the paranoia factor. So whenever you end your turn within range of another investigator, we have to flip a horror face up. And this one says whenever you end your turn in a space with darkness, suffer 1 horror. So these things won't trigger for me as of right now, but things that I need to think about when playing with Father Mateo. But I also don't want to end up in here, because if I end up here, then I am within range 1, 2, 3 of William. So now I couldn't get here anyway because I only have 1 action left. So for my 1 action, I'm going to move myself here and I'm going to stop here. I'm not going to go any further than that, mainly because I don't want to risk endangering myself and how close I am with already dying in the first place. So I'm just going to take a quick look here. Now it does say you can move up to, like the move action allows you to move up to 2 at once, but like I was saying, you wouldn't want to go into here. It just wouldn't make any sense. If I did so, then I'd be within and my thing would trigger, I'd flip a sanity card, that's bad. So I'm gonna keep him in the room and just leave him at that for now. My plan with William York now is a little different. He's got so much sanity damage coming at him, 1 more, and he ticks over to 7 and he's eliminated. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this really handy King James Bible that I picked up along the way. It says, you or another investigator within range may discard 1 face down horror. So I'm going to take 1 face down horror and I'm going to chuck it. So we're going to put it over here and later on I'll shuffle that back into the deck. But essentially now it allows me, what it's going to allow me to do is be able to stay in this room even though I have claustrophobia, which is going to trigger again later if I stay in that room to suffer another face down horror. Now the interesting part is doing that is an action. So this is where things get kind of interesting. I have to almost slow play it, but I'm gonna move as my second action into here, but that's as much as I can do because interacting with this token is also an action. So I basically have to just keep slowly prodding toward this. Now the thing is, you might have said, why don't you just do 1 action in and then just jump through the portal? That's something else I could do as well, because if you take a look at the interact token here, what it says is a rift in the very fabric of reality, peer into an alien landscape. There's architecture there marked with eldritch script, looms on the other side. It says go into the portal. Now this is where it's really tricky, and I've never played this scenario before, so it gets really tough for me to make a logical choice. If I go through a portal, my thought would be I wouldn't be in this space, meaning that my claustrophobia wouldn't trigger, but I don't know how this game handles that because I've never done it before. So I'm a little hesitant to jump through that right now and risk it. So I'm happily gonna take away that 1 sanity like I did using the King James Bible. I'll move in here for 1 and we'll just sit tight. And we're gonna have to hope that the game doesn't start pounding us with all kinds of more monsters or we don't run out of time, which we may be getting into right now. So here we go. We're gonna end the investigator's phase. I've used up all my actions. I'll just do a quick check to make sure. Now, of course, my claustrophobia being that I stopped in this space here triggers. When that does, I suffer 1 face down horror. So a brand new horror card is going to come in, but it's face down. The only reason I did this again, so you guys understand, is that that would have eliminated me right there. So we're okay now for claustrophobia, and then paranoia we're fine too because we're out of range from Father Mateo. So here we go. Let's go into the Mythos phase. And hopefully nothing terrible will happen. A spell leaps unbidden into your mind. This Mythos effect affects the investigator with the lowest will. So that would be William, sadly, because it looks like Father Mateo has 5 will going in, and this one has 4. So yeah, it's going to be William. Here we go. And you attempt to decipher the spell. So you need to use your lore, and I need to get just 1 success. So let's hope that I can dodge whatever this is and survive it. Now the good thing is I do have a clue. That's the plus there. So now the other thing I'll just make mention is it says whenever a monster is defeated, gain a clue. So William actually would gain another clue because I forgot about this when Father Mateo in the last turn killed this one here, because this whenever a monster is defeated, you gain a clue. So now he's got 2, and I'm sorry I forgot about that. That's a really tricky. If I was playing this solo and I was only playing 1 character, I'd probably remember that every time, but it's very tricky to remember that one. It triggers every single time a monster's killed, but it's very useful. So here we go, 3 dice, looking for 1. We got 2. We are more than fine. It says if you pass, you realize casting it would be a terrible idea and you don't do anything else. Awesome. So now we jump right back to the investigator phase, guys. So that we're doing okay. We're doing okay. So here we go. How about we start off with with William York again. We're going to use the King James Bible to discard one horror. So I'll just take this horror that I received last turn and throw it up. And then we're going to interact with this token here and see what it does. So here we go. We're going to interact with this. We're going to go into the portal. What does it say? You step through the rift into the other reality and attempt to decipher the script on the buildings. Tap to attempt the puzzle using your lore. Interesting. Okay, so I only have 3 on lore. Do I have anything that can boost that? I do not. So here we go. I guess, oh geez. Here we go. This is going to be interesting. Okay, let's see. What do I want to do? How does this one play again? Oh, I see. Oh, okay, so I gotta guess the position. Oh, geez, and there's 5 of them. So there looks like there's glyphs, essentially, and I'm essentially trying to put them in order, but there's 5 of them, so there's a lot there. Now, my guess is, in prior episodes, when there was books and there was things inside of... I think there was a book somewhere in here, and I forget where I picked it, where it was. But essentially, if I had have kept going after that book, maybe it would have revealed some of the symbols that it uses or something. So I'm going into this one blind because of the way I played it. Maybe there's a way to find that out. I'm just going to go ahead and go crazy and pick a whole bunch in a row here. Actually, let's make it really simple. Let's just do, well, let's go backwards on it. So I'll just start with a simple kind of backwards version of the top. Okay, so we got... 2 correct symbols, one's in the perfect position. Okay, so I have 2 more guesses to go. So let's try, that really wasn't all that great. Let's try keeping the blue one where it is. Let's try keeping the blue one where it is and I'm going to do this, and as of right now, I'm just kind of we got to get a couple patterns in here before we figure out what's what. Okay, so I lost my elder sign, so we know it's not red for sure. And we also got one that's correct, so it's a correct symbol. Oh, okay, so we only have 3. So as of right now, there's 3 correct symbols in there. Oh, because you can have multiple of the same symbol. Interesting. Okay, so well, that makes things really tough. Let's put the gray at the beginning, like we did before. We know the red one wasn't right, so let's try a gold where the red one was. For the green and blue, let's just go with the... Now we know there's only 3 colors that are right so far out of this pile, so then I'll go... I'll go blue again and maybe gold. Okay, so we got, okay, we're not doing so hot, but we got, oh, actually we did really bad there. We did really, really bad. Okay, so my guessing's not so hot. Not very good at deciphering that. But that's it, that's all I can do. I can only try it 3 times, so that's the end of my turn for William. Now, this is where things get interesting. So I don't want Father Mateo to kind of come over here and be helping him out because he's paranoid, and I don't know if there's anything that Father Mateo can do in order to help himself. Let's see here. Now I could do some quick movement. I could go like from here to here, try to dig around in this thing again. So let's do that. Let's do a move of 2, and then I'm gonna interact with that search token. I think this one is the desk is still locking. Attempt using your lore. My observation is only 2. That's not very good, but I'll give it a shot. Yes, this one. Okay, so I actually got 2 correct on that last one, so we know that one of them here I've done correctly. I actually did really good on this one, so I might be able to break into this one. So let's say that the 4 is right, although I'm not sure if that's true yet or not. We got something right on the second part when we switched it, so it's likely that the 1 is right, and it's probably that the other one is wrong. So Okay, interesting. So we still only got one right. So then in that case, my guess would be 4 is right still. The 2 is probably the right one. So we'll do something like this. Ugh, that didn't work either. Okay, so there's my 2 guesses gone down the toilet. And I also have clues from William, but I don't have any clues for Father Mateo, so I can't... Oh, no, actually, I could spend my clues with William, though, in order to tinker around in here. So maybe that would be good. I forgot about that. Let's do that. So let's hit this up again. We're going to attempt, and I'm going to use clues to try to break into this a little bit further. So I'm going to go, and we know that the elder sign said that the gray one's probably not in the right spot. The red one's not in the right spot. The blue one... not the gold one. It could be the gold one or the green one at the end. So the right one that we got down here could be in one of these last 2, and it's likely either gold or green. So we're gonna have to try to play around with this. So far we got 3 correct symbols on this row here, which was the best we did. Or sorry, the bottom was decent too. So let's go ahead and do. This is tough. These ones are really tough. Let's go green. And, all right. When we changed it, it went wrong. Let's try gray. For the middle one, let's try red. This is where it gets interesting. At the very back too, I think this is where the elder sign kicked into play. So it's either the gold one or it's the green one, and I don't know which one it is just yet. So I'm gonna go like that and try that. So that's my first guess. Hey, wow, there we go. That was close. So we did something right. So let's try that again. Let's do, and so that's one of my clues, and I'm gonna grab my other clue, and I'm gonna do this. Let's stick with the gray. We'll just change a couple things about this. So we'll stick with the first 3. And we got one of the correct symbols, but it was in the wrong spot, I guess. Let's do... very tough at the end. So we've likely proven that gold should be there. That's the same though. Let's switch them around. If I do that. Okay, so that failed, but that helps me to decipher which ones are correct for the next time. So that clue is now burnt. Okay, so that's it. That is all I got for actions. We are done. This is where the board sits currently, and we're going to move into the Mythos phase and see what happens next. Oh yeah, sorry. And then of course my claustrophobia for William York is going to trigger, which is the only one trigger that I have to worry about constantly. The cheap item snaps as Father Mateo tries to lift it. Unfortunately, it is now completely useless. Father Mateo discards one random common item. Oh, that's not good. One random common item. So I guess between... Oh, it'd have to be Brass Knuckles then, because it's the only common item card I have. So I've lost my Brass Knuckles. But at least I still have Wither, so that's not the worst thing that I could have lost there. So we'll go with that. And then, perfect, back to the Investigator phase, so I can jump right in and try again. So let's go back over to William York, who's going to... the first thing he's going to do is he's going to jump right in and try to interact with that again. I'm using my lore, so I get 3 attempts on this one, so here we go. Now we want to build what we had from before. So what happened before was interesting. So we got, this is right, this gray is likely right, the red is probably the wrong one. So I'm going to try slipping in gold in the middle instead. Now for the very, very end ones, it looks like we had more successes when it was like gold and then green. So I'll try that. Okay, so we nailed 3 there. Interesting. On this one, so we know for a fact that these ones here are bang on. And when I switched, the third one is definitely gold for sure. Yeah. The third one's definitely gold. The middle one we're not really doing so hot on, so I'm going to go and put, let's see, what haven't we tried in the middle? Done blue. Oh, this is tough. This is so tough. I'm going to try to put... which one should be in the middle there? Sorry guys, I'm just pondering this over. This is tougher than I imagined it would be. 3 stars there. We had 3 there. The only thing that changed was the... Changing it to a red didn't do anything. Yeah, changing it to a red didn't do anything between these two. But we had the correct symbol. So... I'm gonna go red again. I hope that's right. And then, so we've done this pattern before in the middle here and gotten these 2 results when we flip-flop them around, but I didn't put blue in, and that's probably why I was failing, because I didn't put blue in. I think you're supposed to use one of each color. I think that's why I've been messing this up so badly. You guys are probably laughing at me because I'm playing it incorrectly, but my guess would be, yeah, blue never really worked out ever. So I think in blue's at the end, gold is there. I think it's like this. No, it's not. Interesting. What am I doing wrong here? I'd like to just take a quick look at the rule book really fast, because I've never encountered this puzzle before, to ensure that I'm doing this somewhat right. It says, code puzzle. Each investigator attempts to determine a code made of 3 or more pieces. Number of runes, the pieces that made up the code are displayed at the top. Each piece can be used any number of times. Okay, so I was right. It could be multiple times that you use the same piece. Ah, jeez, this is tough. Okay, so I still like these 2 up front. I used the right symbol by bringing blue in, but I'm going to put blue in the middle this time. Well, that didn't work that time, so bad idea. I'm going to put blue at the... I'm not going to use blue at all, actually. I'm going to use red. And then I'm going to go and put blue... Let's go. I've done both of these before. Oh, this is tough. Okay, you know what, guys? I think I might have to end the video here as I try to ponder what I'm going to do with my last guess. Yeah, I think I'm going to run out of time. So I'm going to ponder this. I'm going to come back in the next video and have a choice on what I'm doing. And I'll record it. We'll see what happens. All right, guys? So... sorry, but this one, I've actually never encountered this puzzle before, so this is new to me. I'm learning it. We'll get there. So stay tight and stick around. We will be back in the next episode, and I will beat this. Okay, keep rolling solo.